dia, boa tarde, boa noite. Bem-vindo, caro ouvinte, a outro podcast of Portuguese with Carla. Podcast 19.
Sim, bem-vindo. Why am I hearing myself?
I can hear you too.
That doesn't matter, does it? It's just a bit annoying. Welcome to podcast 19. So
That's right.
For all the text that we're going to be narrating, or the dialogue, then head over to ptwithcarla.com/podcast19.
That's right. Yeah. So, following along from the last scene, you were sent to do an X-ray.
That's right.
And now we're gonna hear about the results. So once again, we have a guest with us, and guess who? Again, Mr. Marcio Medina.
Here I am. Hello, Carla. Mom.
Hello. Hello.
Carla's looking at me in amazement. That's okay, Carla.
Sure. Yeah, you can tell he's my brother, can't you? Righty then. Yeah, you have to come closer so we can...
Okay, so let's say we're going into the doctor's office, right? So I'm going to close the doors and we'll get started.
Querem as boas ou as más notícias primeiro?
As más.
Ora bem, você tem uma fratura oblíqua composta na parte inferior da fíbula.
Senhor doutor, troque lá isso por miúdos, se faz favor.
Isto quer dizer que o Sr. João tem uma perna partida.
Que chatice.
Lá se vão as nossas férias.
Deixa lá, querido. Não te preocupes com isso agora.
Só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. Mas diga-me então, qual é a boa notícia?
O Benfica ganhou. Tiveram empatados até o último minuto.
Ao menos isso. Alrighty then, so that's our scene for today.
Yeah.
And before we go into breaking down the transcript and translating it into English, we will say goodbye to our helpful doctor.
Yes, thank you very much.
My
that was
pleasure,
very
guys.
helpful.
Really good.
Alrighty then. Okay, cheerio.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Okay, so English translation for the scene today. The doctor asked, would you like the good or the bad news first?
The bad.
Well, you have an oblique compound fracture on the lower part of your fibula.
Doctor, troque lá isso por miúdos, please. We'll talk about that expression in a bit.
Later, yeah. That means, Mr. João, that you have a broken leg. How annoying, I say, or what a pain. Que chatice.
Well, there go my holidays, or our holidays.
Let it be, honey, or never mind, honey. Don't you worry about that now.
These things only happen to be. But tell me then, what are the good news?
Benfica won. They were tied up until the last minute, so they had the same number of goals. I'm not quite sure how to say that in English.
And I say, at least that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the top here.
Mm-hmm.
You start speaking here. Well,
yep.
It's a doctor, but you're doing the doctor's lines
I'll break that
today.
down. Querem as boas ou as más notícias primeiro? Primeiro, first. Más notícias. Más notícias. Bad news. Más notícias. As boas. The good. Plural form. As boas. As boas. As boas ou as más notícias. The bad news. And if I'm to say that quicker, that S from boas will probably sound like a Z because of the O from the word O, meaning or. So I'd say as boas ou as más notícias. Do you want or would you like? Querem, that's literally do you want or want. Querem as boas ou as más notícias? Primeiro. First. Primeiro. Okay. Marlon, over to you.
Well, my line is pretty short.
Yep.
I just said the bad.
The bad.
As más. So singular would be má, but it's plural here, mas. As, mas.
Yeah, and this is feminine plural, because bad can also be mau, M-A-U for singular form, and plural maus if it's masculine. Okay, so doctor says, ora bem, well, ora bem, ora bem, you have, você tem uma fratura oblíqua composta. Uma fratura oblíqua composta. Fratura, I ignore the C. It's, I think, with the new changes in the Portuguese language, the C may have dropped actually. But some people still write it with a C.
It was never pronounced anyway, either way.
We never pronounced it. That's why they dropped it. Fratura oblíqua composta. Na parte inferior, in the lower part or lower section, na parte inferior. And I say that word again. Inferior. Na parte inferior da fíbula. Not fibula, fíbula. See, there's a little accent over the I.
And I guess we should say, because I guess many people won't even know this word in English.
What's that? Fibula?
Yeah. It's, if you imagine
there's two bones, isn't it, between
two bones in your lower
knee.
leg. The big one will be, and I know in Portuguese, tibia.
I think it's the same. Tibia.
Then there's a smaller bone that runs alongside a parallel to
thinner
it.
one.
That's a fibula. I guess.
Now,
sorry.
uma fratura oblíqua, uma fratura composta.
We just put that there because we thought we'll put something complicated. Because we're coming up with an expression we wanted you guys to learn. But it turns out that it isn't what we thought it was.
Well, fratura composta apparently is the same as fratura exposta, exposed one or an open one. So basically the bone rupts through the leg, comes out. So
that's not what we were
if that had happened, we would know that you had broken your leg. You wouldn't need to ask the doctor to put it simply like you did.
Okay.
But, never mind. Okay. So I finished my line. It's you.
Okay. So I say, oh, senhor doutor, troque lá isso por miúdos, se faz favor. So here the, oh, senhor doutor, notice, I think we mentioned this last week, but we always put the title senhor just to add formality, and then the actual title of the person, in this case being DR, doctor, doutor. Okay? And then I say, troque lá isso por miúdos. Troque lá isso por miúdos. Now, this one is one of those expressions that we like to put into our not in a textbook moment. So let's run it. Troque lá isso por miúdos. Literal meaning,
to exchange for small bits.
The colloquial meaning,
to say the same thing in a simplified speech.
Now, let's give you an equivalent expression in English.
Put simply,
and in context,
someone is discussing a topic with technical terms one isn't familiar with, so you ask them, troca lá isso por miúdos. Very good.
Excellent. All right. Now that's what it is. Trocar por miúdos.
To exchange for small bits or smaller, simpler words.
Yes. Okay. And so let's do the pronunciation now. Miúdos.
Accent on a U.
Miúdos. Another words for kids.
Mm-hmm.
A group of kids would be miúdos. Slightly derogative, if depending how you say it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's miúdos.
Nah.
No,
No,
okay.
just
My
kids.
mind did it. Miúdos.
Miúdos.
Por por miúdos. Troque lá isso. Troque lá isso. Troque lá isso por miúdos. And then I say, please, se faz favor. Which I probably said, se faz favor.
Se faz favor.
Now, the expression, of course, is, in this case, troque lá isso por miúdos. The lá, it doesn't need to be there. It's an easing word. It's one of those words just to make things a little bit more...
As if you are
easy to
saying,
swallow.
please.
It is a please.
Just put it simple.
But you could say, if you're speaking to a friend, you would just change the... Because obviously the verb there is trocar, to exchange. You could put the verb in any way. So you could say, for example, if I'm speaking to Carla and I don't understand something that she said, maybe it was too complex, use words that I don't quite grasp, I could say, troca por miúdos. Okay? Troca isso por miúdos. Or troca lá isso por miúdos if I want to be polite.
Yeah, sounds better.
Yeah? Okay, so the whole line is, and repeat after me, ó senhor doutor, troque lá isso por miúdos, se faz favor.
So doctor says, isto quer dizer que, this means that, isto quer dizer, this means, isto quer dizer, and again, isto quer dizer que o senhor João, that Mr. João, que o senhor João, que o senhor João, and when I say it quicker, que o or cu, but it'd be better to say que o senhor João has a broken leg. Has one leg broken. Tem uma perna partida. Tem uma perna partida. And again, tem uma perna partida. And then, as a wife, I say, que chatice. How annoying. What a pain. Que chatice.
Bother.
And again, que chatice.
Okay. Now I say, lá se vão as nossas férias. Well, there go our holidays. So, lá se vão as nossas férias. Let's start from the bottom, do a backwards build-up drill. You should be familiar with férias, holidays.
Or
Férias.
holiday. I think the right word is just holiday. Singular. Isn't it?
Férias. Yeah, you can't really say féria. That doesn't exist.
No, but in English even. Holiday, holidays.
Oh, in English.
A lot of people
I'm going
say
on
it
my
before.
holiday. You'd say that. At least I've heard it. Don't know if it's correct.
That's what I mean. I think it's correct. And the holidays is probably the one that is wrong.
Okay.
But people still say it.
Colloquial, they use both, don't they?
Yeah.
Nossas are nossas férias. Nossas férias. Add the article as nossas férias. There go, lá se vão. Lá se vão. Literally, you're saying, there they go. Lá se vão. Lá se vão as nossas férias. Okay?
Yeah. So I say, let it be, honey, or never mind. Deixa lá. Lá, again, is not necessary. Again, like you said, easing word, isn't it? And I could have just said deixa, querido. Or deixa estar. But I said deixa lá. Meaning, let it be.
It's interesting
Never mind.
because in the previous sentence, in my sentence, lá actually has
A meaning, there.
a meaning.
That's what it
an actual,
really means.
Well, it means something. There, it means it's a word with that represents something factual or something palpable.
Okay, yeah. So it has a literal meaning. Okay, so deixa lá. Deixa lá, querido. But we probably would pronounce it querido.
Yes.
As if it was with a K or C, R-I-D-O. querido. And that's honey or dear. Same thing in female form, but with an A at the end. Querida or querida. Darling, also. Same word for darling, querida. Deixa lá, querido. Deixa lá, querido. Não te preocupes. Don't you worry. Não te preocupes. And again, não te preocupes com isso agora. With that now or about that now. Don't you worry about that now. But we say with that. Com isso agora. Com isso agora. Okay, Marlon?
All right. So I say, só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. Only to me is it these things happened. More or less, literally. Yeah. So, destas coisas. These things.
Of these things.
Oh, yes. There is an of there connected to estas.
Yeah,
destas.
there was a contraction between two words. De and estas. You contract them, you bring them together. So we say destas.
Acontecem. Happen. Acontecem destas coisas. É que me acontecem destas coisas. Só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. Now, of course, speaking, I wouldn't say só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. I would say só a mim é que me acontecem. Notice, é que me. It's almost like the Q-U-E becomes a K. É que me acontecem destas coisas. Ok? Só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. And the next bit, mas diga-me então, but tell me then, qual é a boa notícia? What is the good news?
And we have the singular form, boa notícia, the good new.
We do, I know, because in English there is no
a singular.
Good new.
Yeah.
Which it took me a long time to learn.
Yeah.
It was really confusing.
To accept it. I still find it a little bit tricky, really, but I accept it.
Exactly, yeah. My brain, something weird here.
Yeah.
But it isn't. Okay, so, qual é a boa notícia? Boa notícia. Qual é, which is...
Or what is, sometimes
yes.
It's translated what.
Qual é a boa notícia? But tell me then. Mas diga-me então. And the whole thing. Mas diga-me então. Qual é a boa notícia? The whole line. Só a mim é que me acontecem destas coisas. Mas diga-me então. Qual é a boa notícia?
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me saying, it's just with diga-me então, the E from me in diga-me, and then the E from então, I think we just pronounce one E if we were saying it, really in real life we would say diga-me então.
Yes, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, diga-me então, no breaks in between, unless there was a comma.
I guess when you're going through this exercise, we are
very
purposely
thorough
pronouncing everything, but I'm conscious to give you also the colloquial pronunciation.
That's right. Okay, so the doctor said that the good news were that Benfica won in the end.
Benfica being a team from Lisbon.
Yeah, the football team. Mm-hmm. O Benfica ganhou. They were tied. Estiveram empatados. Estiveram, or I think my brother said tiveram. He dropped the ES, and often we do that. We drop the ES from the verb estar, and it doesn't really matter what tense we find the verb, we just tend to drop the ES oftentimes. But more often than that, we actually drop just the E. estiveram, so you could have just said that, but he actually dropped the two letters. Tiveram, which is actually the verb for had. They had, but never mind about that one. Don't want to confuse you.
No, but that's a good point, because I was with a student earlier on, and people do have a problem when they see es at the beginning of words in pronouncing it, because we never. I'm not going to say never, because there will be words, but as a general rule, we will not say os tiveram. The e is almost always dropped, and all you hear is a sh sort of sound at the beginning of a word.
Yeah.
For example, the word.
Excelente.
There you go. Excelente. Excellent. It's es.
Exterior.
Yeah, I can't remember what the word was, but escadas, for example.
Escola.
Escadas.
School.
Escola.
And there's a es. Especial. We don't say especial, escola. We drop the e oftentimes. But with the verb estar, we go as far as dropping the s even. And in the past tenses of this verb, there's two, the perfect past and the imperfect past. It's, I think... No, not the imperfect, but the perfect past is the exact same form as the verb ter when we drop the es. So it can be confusing. If you're not following, if you not get the context, then you may think that they're using verb to have in the past when they're actually using the verb estar in the past. Do you see what I mean? Like
ter being the verb, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Having.
That's it. Tiver. No? Estiver. It's the same. But if we drop the es, meaning estar, you can think that it's ter.
Yeah.
Right, let's hope that's not too confusing.
I don't no.
No, ok. Estiveram, ou tiveram, empatados. Estiveram empatados até o último minuto. Until the last minute. Até o último minuto. The whole line. O Benfica ganhou. Estiveram empatados até o último minuto.
Yes. Até meaning until, till. In this context, it can mean other things. But then I said, ao menos isso. At least that. Ao menos. Menos, yeah, least. So that's a pretty literal translation there. And it works. Ao menos isso. And again, ao menos isso.
Yeah.
Well, that would be that. If you would like, and we do recommend it, is to go back to the beginning and try to say or read text and say the words at the same time as what we're saying. Okay? And that will improve your pronunciation if you try and do that a couple of times, or maybe if you have the time, 2 or 3 times. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's brilliant. I think this is it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty short one, actually.
Yeah.
It's only 23 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock.
I suppose it's easier to click on one, on one like that when you think, oh, okay, that's short. I can listen to this now.
Yes.
Because when they're longer, you don't know what you're gonna get from it, so you can find it a little bit intimidating. But yeah, short and sweet.
Very good. Next week will be, I think, one of those review podcasts.
So it's our game again.
It's a game. And next week we'll also introduce not only just vocabulary to the game, but if you've been listening for the last few weeks, you've noticed that we included some idiomatic expressions in our not in a textbook moment. Right, remember that? So, in the next podcast, we'll also have a game with these. A slightly different game, but that will help you memorize those expressions, hopefully. So okay. Carla, do you want to mention anything? Any of the social stuff at all?
Not really. Do you?
Well, I guess
I'm good.
The YouTube videos, youtube.com/Portuguese with Carla. And of course, you find all these podcasts, and please subscribe to them on PortugueseWithCarla.com/blog. I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, this is PortugueseWithCarla.com/podcast19.
That's right.
If you're on the transcript.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Carla, if you don't want to say anything else.
No, I'm ready to say goodbye.
So let's play the end jingle.
Okay. Goodbye, guys.
See you
Ciao,
later.
ciao.
Bye.